Okay. News feed. Caps on. Oops. There. Share a few instances of this. Share in a group. One last share here. And post. Cool. I'm set to go. I'm going to watch the counter here before I start going. Hopefully my levels are good now. Everything sounds good. I should not be having any issues. Actually, I gotta take down this post real quick. All right. That's what I get for not monitoring my audio beforehand. That's my fault on the last video there. All right. So here we go again for testing out Izotope Rx9. Hi, my name's Andrew Mock. Working as dialogue editor. Trying to test out Izotope Rx9 Ambience Match. I haven't spent much time with this yet. I downloaded the trial mode at the moment. That's what I'm working on. I'm just horsing around, playing around with Rx9, trying to make sure it's worth a buy for myself. I'm not doing anything, no promotional sponsors or anything like that. So this is all just me messing around, trying to find out if I like it or not. So as I'm working here, you'll find all sorts of things that I'm doing as I am working. Things such as I'm going to be opening up the manual and looking at how to utilize the full functionalities of the complex mode and the new Ambience match. I might even dip over to using dialogue isolate here. I have not touched that actually at all yet. As far as I'm aware, the only thing that's really new with it is the amount of threshold that you can push, so you can reduce the overall background noise further with less artifacts. So I will be looking at these two things. I have 4 different versions of Izotope RX installed on my machine. I have Rx4, Rx7, Rx8, and Rx9 currently installed on this machine. And here they are. So, oops. Rx4, Rx7, 8, and 9 all installed on this machine. What I want to do, of course, is start in with looking at Ambience Match. Go ahead and continue with that. With Izotope Rx9 Ambience Match, again, I am using this in trial mode. My Pro Tools system is Pro Tools 12.8.3 on Mac OS 10.11.6. Izotope system requirements for Rx9 is, I'm doing this off the top of my head, by the way, without looking, Pro Tools 2021.3, I believe it is, and Pro Tools and Mac OS 10.13.6 as the system requirements to run Rx9. So I am running under their threshold, but I downloaded that trial for myself for one to see if I can even use Rx9 on my machine in particular, and the fact that I want to know if Izotope Rx9 is worth the upgrade. So let's get into it as I'm working here. Again, this is all me just playing around in Izotope. So let's play back the audio.
What, do I look like a priest? I could never learn to read that stuff.
So as you can hear, within that, it's very noisy. The background noise is intense, which is great for what I'm moving into. So let's take a look at that just real quick. Let's remove some of these prompts. I don't care, whatever. Later. Shameless shutdown. Let's put on pre-roll real quick so you can hear it carry over into this next clip. I don't even know if I got pre-roll set up, so let's open the transport. I do not have pre-roll set up. Pre-roll, it's right here. Let's put on 3 seconds. Oops. There we go. Let's play.
I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
So as you hear there, very loud background noise. What I'm trying to do is not use isolate, not reduce that noise in the dialogue edit. You leave that up to the mixer, not to the dialogue editor. Sometimes you might be asked as a dialogue editor to reduce that, but in my case, I am not doing it that way. Close that. Turn on pre-roll. Let's go back to our selection here. See no one join yet. Just want to make sure that the select's working. Please check your video resolution. Video resolution is airing out. Let's go back into the stream. Just make sure that it went right. Cool. So, that one post got removed. Give me one sec here. Gonna open and just make sure that everything is set up right for streaming one more time. I know I just pushed one out. Just want to hear my audio. Test, 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 test. Test. Was functional. Let's open up the link in YouTube here. All right, cool.
I could never learn to read that stuff. I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
The map to our treasure and
Just realized my mic was muted for a little bit there, but we should be set. So anyways, what we are going to do here is test out Rx9, Izotope Rx9 Ambience match. I might hop over to dialogue isolate here as I am working, but let's keep it all going here. I'm going to leave an audio clip sync just so I can delete everything from this part once I edit the video. Anyways, so I got Izotope Rx9 Ambience Match currently open. They changed the UI to Ambience Match. Added by default when you load in Ambience Match, you're going to start with the Ambient Threshold at -12, the Ambience type, the mode selection between static and complex mode. Complex mode will be selected by default. You also now have a gain correction and adjustment within the UI as well. Also for Pro Tools users, we also have the gain adjustment down here as well, and that will also render out any gain adjustments that you do. So there's 2 levels of gain there, which is kind of strange and not. Other systems probably don't have what Pro Tools has, of course. The output ambience only feature is now selected by default, going from Izotope Rx9 to Izotope Rx8. In Izotope Rx8 that was not selected, and I can show you that here, the difference between Rx8 and Rx9, since I do have both installed on my machine at the moment. So a little blind here. So here's the difference between Rx8 and Rx9. So on the left is Rx8, on the right is Rx9. So these are the new features that we are looking at. So by default, and what I was talking about here is the output ambience only box here on Rx8 is unchecked. Not much of a big issue. If you check that box, obviously then you're good and you're the same as there. By default in Rx8, if you want that box check marked, you can create a plugin setting and save that. So it's not a big deal. It's just one extra step that you'd have to take if you wanted to have that checkmark box on by default every time you opened Rx8. So there's that. Then, as you can see here, with the new complex mode, the UI change, as I mentioned. The display screen here is bigger by default, but that's because we obviously have new features, such as the ambient threshold, the option between going from static to complex modes. And then we also have how much movement you want into your render, as well as the randomness of that selection as well. I've tried playing with both, and I'll let you know here in 1 second how it all sounds. The next thing is they added the gain in here, which as a Pro Tools user, any Pro Tools user, we can make those gain adjustments very easily through here on both of them. As you can see here, it affects each other. But if you wanted to render any sort of gain adjustments through an Audio Suite plugin, you just use that to do that, or you can use clip gain after the fact that you rendered it. There's various ways of making your volume adjustments. Usually when I do it, I use the gain here, but it's nice to have that because I assume other applications that support the use of Izotope products need some sort of gain adjustment within the plugin. It's great, nice feature. So this is the difference. So again, Rx8 is on the left here. This is Rx9 on the right. Flipping over between the default modes. by switching to static. We are now doing the same thing that Rx8 offers by default. I only spent an hour so far operating Rx9, so this is all new. I might even pop open the manual here. So let's go in and start testing this out. Enough explanation. I just wanted to show a bit of the UI and do a little bit of explanation of that. So we got a noisy clip here that I probably just accidentally hit quick key. So let's make a selection. I'll have you listen to this first.
What do I look like, a priest? I could never learn to read that stuff.
So yeah, that background noise is noisy. I want to apply it to the next clips afterwards. I'm not going to reduce that background noise. I just want to copy it. So let's flip to complex mode. I'm going to leave everything by the default settings here. I'm not going to make any changes. So I'm going to hit learn. It's able to pull that. Let's just listen to the playback. And I am on infinite. Now you can hear it. So it's not perfect. It sounds looped. I'll give you another few minutes here. I'll stay quiet while you listen. Yeah, so as you heard there, if you're wearing headphones, and I apologize for the last video too for that, if you're wearing headphones, you're not going to, you're going to probably hear the looped audio here, which isn't great. So let's try correcting this a little bit. Let's toggle. So I'm toggling the movement. As I hover over here, it says adjust the amount of variation in the generated ambience. Well, there's a bump in there that I'm hearing, and I'm not liking that. Let's try. Yeah, I'm not liking that. That's not sounding good either. Hey Martin, yeah, it sounds very loopy. Like, I'll shut up again for a minute and let you listen. It's playing back at the moment. I'm going to turn that up for you as well. So here, I'm going to crank the volume on this so you can hear it even further. As you can hear, it sounds really bad. That does not sound good. I wouldn't use this, and I'd call it junk. You can't hear the difference? Mark, exactly. It sounds very bad. Like, this is what you're hearing. I have it cranked at the moment for the output. I'm gonna let you listen. Yeah, so what you're hearing right now is me having that volume way up. If you need it louder, there you go. I just cranked it higher. So that sounds actually really bad. It's almost useless. I would not use that. I would say it's junk. I'm gonna try playing with the movement speed here, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. Um, Let me know if you want me to turn this down. If it's too loud for your ears at the moment, I can adjust. I just turned it up so you guys could definitely hear it. All right. So, um, yeah, it doesn't sound good at all. I would say it's useless. I'm gonna turn this back down because it's annoying my ears. Um, Turn that down back to a normal level. That's blasting my ears. So that would be unusable, right? So it sounds very loopy, it sounds very choppy, it just doesn't work. I'm going to apply it here for the selection. There's not much more I can do.
I guess that's why we run.
The map to our treasure and the hype.
Let me put on pre-roll. There we go.
What do I look like, a priest? I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
The map to our treasure.
That selection's not good, to say the least. It just doesn't not work. I can hear the bump that's already putting in there in complex mode. And it's sad to say that static in this case actually sounds better. So I'm gonna undo that. Let's make a static selection. Let's do it within the same exact spot that I had it. Right between here. And if you're wondering, I am using a D command to make those selections. And let's flip to static mode. And that's right. One thing to note is it will store that selection that you, or that learn that you just had, and you can flip between the two modes to compare them. So I guess I don't have to do another one. So let's just listen to how this is. I'll turn this up again here. So to me, yeah, they didn't mess up the simple, the static is probably what you're referring to, Martin. I don't think they screwed that up at all. I think it is exactly where it should be. It doesn't sound any different. I can pull up Rx8 real quick, and we can do a side-by-side comparison here. Here, in fact, because I made a new selection, let me learn that selection. All right. But I just learned that selection, got that going, and then okay, that's set. And let me pull open Rx8 Ambience match. And yes, I got 4 instances of Izotope Rx installed. Don't ask why, I just do. I like Rx. I'm a little lazy as well. Okay, so just by looking at that, they look the same. Okay, I see no big issue, but let's listen. So, for anyone that's watching right now, do you hear any big audible differences between the static modes between RX8 and RX9? I personally not hearing much of a difference. Sounds like it's a little brighter on RX9, but I can't tell 100% for sure. It sounds identical to my ears. It might be the interruption when jumping between the two that I'm hearing. But I think it's for the most part the same. So, I am going to shut Rx8. I am going to render this. Oops. There's various ways on how I do this. That's not the normal way that I do it, but I'm just doing this for testing purposes only at the moment. Nice, Martin. I was thinking of doing the same here as well. Right now with the price for the upgrade between RX8 and RX9, it's definitely worth it. I will definitely say the jump is worth $130. That's not much compared to what the normal price is to cross grade between RX8 and RX9. There's few unlucky few that went with it early and upgraded and spent the $300 when they dropped it to $130. So let me play this back. You'll hear that real quick.
I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
All right, so that's playing that back. So with that, that sounds a lot better than what the complex mode offers. So I'm going to flip back over to the complex mode. I'm just going to render right over this. Click learn. So that's interesting. I just found that out. When you are going from static to complex, it does not carry over your last learned application, but going from complex to static, you still carry your last learned. So that's another, I don't know if that's a bug, I'm going to assume that's a bug. If you're able to do it from complex to static, but not static to complex, it does not make any sense. I'm going to make another selection. We're going to try it again. I got it on complex mode. Going to click learn and couldn't get a profile from that. Wonderful. And there's a few other things that I've learned here as I've been toying around with this as well. I'm going to bring this down. Click learn. There we go. Let's apply this over here with the settings I currently have.
Priest? I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
I'm going to play that back one more time. I'm going to shut off my mic.
Priest? I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
Besides the bad breath here, let me just blow that up real quick. Yeah. Like that. Let's try that one more time.
I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
I could never learn to read that stuff.
I guess that's why we run.
That's not too bad. Because, there's spoken dialogue there. You can't really hear it as much. I mean, I do hear it, but not as much. It does sound very loopy, so I'm just going to play back what I captured. Turn that up for you. Yeah, so Ambience Match sounds very loopy, very choppy. Just the complex mode itself is no good. It's not usable at the moment. I would not apply it. The standard static mode is far better on syncing it in. It's not the greatest. Yeah, no one likes hiss, but it does blend better than having a signal sound very looped. So, I'm gonna pull up the manual real quick. Let's just take that. Oh, and I'm gonna share the manual here in the chat. So give me one sec, so you guys can follow along if you'd like. So, go ahead, open up that manual. I'm taking a peek at it real quick to review it. I'm blind, so I gotta really blow this up. So, static. Perfect for on-changing ambience like room tone, air conditioners, or fans. The static ambience match algorithm analyzes an audio selection and finds the lowest common denominator, the noise that is common across the audio file, and treats that as the ambient profile. Hold on one sec here. Telling me the controls, I have Ambient Threshold, Ambience Type, and Movement. But I think that's just talking about when in complex mode. So the way they type the manual isn't right either. I'm going to bring that over here too. I don't know. There you go. So the manual just slightly annoys me. It talks about stack mode first. And then going into it here, then we're talking about the controls, but these controls only apply to when you're in complex mode. So they should be bringing in, so from talking about static, they should then talk about complex mode and then talk about the controls. That's a little funky to me. But then again, by default, when you open up Rx9 Ambience Match, complex mode is already selected. So there's that. I can't argue completely. All right, workflow. Using Ambience Match module in the Rx audio editor. And again, if you guys haven't noticed, in the chat, I posted the link to the manual if you want to read it. To match the ambience between selections, open the Ambience Match module, the module list, make a selection. So, spectrogram in Ambience. Stack mode, spectrogram will display what will be rendered as you learn. So, more annoyingness. The manual here is more talking about being a standalone editor versus having it as a audio suite plugin. Just reading that, so I'm being picky now. If you're going to spend money, you got to be picky, right? So this is just me looking at this real quick without going farther into Ambience Match. Kind of showcased already too, but I'll showcase it here again. I just want to make sure that I'm using it right before I say, hey, Ambience Match, complex mode, complete junk. Preset, use an Ambience Match as an audio suite plugin. Okay, so right here. In addition to applying Ambience Match inside of Rx Audio Editor, it can be used as an audio suite plugin inside of Ambience Pro Tools or Media Composer. When using Ambience Match inside of Pro Tools or Media Composer, we recommend not learning from the audio that contains fades within the selection or the handles, as Ambience Match establishes an ambient profile using the lowest common denominator. Learning from audio that's being faded in may result in inconsistent detection of the noise floor. Handles can be preserved by using Ambience Match and clip-by-clip mode. As Ambience Match establishes an ambient profile used in the lowest common denominator, so the same as static. Learning from audio that's being faded and may result in it. Okay. Handles can be preserved using Ambience Match, clip-by-clip mode. When used correctly, you may see an inconsistent result as a result of hurdles to rules acting fades, which varies based on the session's bit distance. The noise almost certainly doesn't match the noise profile. This will throw off Ambience Match. If you're running a session 16-bit, the dither added by a fade will be. So it's just talking about when you scan, learn from a fade, just don't do it, it'll screw it up. So that's all I got from this manual. Nothing else, nothing too special here. Yeah, I wish I could say there's something better. So even the manual didn't really give me much of a leeway. If you hover over all this, it tells you which each thing does. Manual did too, but what's hovering here is the same thing that's in the manual. So they didn't even give you any kind of best practice using the complex mode. They just said, don't learn on a fade, and that's it. So with what I got here and the information I provided and just looking at this, I'm going to say complex mode just does not work. Let me try another piece of audio throughout this session. I'd have to find something. So bear with me here as I barrel through this, trying to find another spot that I could work with.
To give it back to him, but Oatley slaps it away.
I don't need that. It'll just slow me down.
You do, Oatley. This is not a time for arrogance. Thirst will sneak up on you. This isn't the jungle like home.
Toto, I've been stationed here for minutes.
So this is another good spot here. You could obviously hear the noise jump. Let's see if this is good.
You do, Oatley.
Let's turn off pre-roll. I might be able to work with that. I don't know. Click learn to capture the audio. Thanks, I did. So another bug. Wonderful. So Ambient Threshold, what this does, it determines how much of something gets added into your noise profile. In this case, it also is kind of like a time adjustment. So if you got a very short section of audio, you'd want to crank this up. And then hit learn, and that didn't work either. Okay. I need a longer piece of audio. We're going to go to the standalone mode here too. I have not done that yet. I've only been using it as an Audio Suite plugin. That's actually how I mainly use this, in Rx8 at least. Damn. Maybe I'm gonna have to adjust that. Hey, that actually worked. You know what? I'm gonna try something. This gives me an idea. Let's learn all of that. Okay, that's terrible. That didn't work. Thought I had a good idea. Let me turn this down. Still bad. Still bad. What's going on here? Still got something weird in here. Let's go farther. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. So this might actually be something. It's just new to everybody, you know. Got to just figure out how it runs. Let's turn off the randomness. Oh, that's still sounding bad. Less movement. Try and learn it again. Those settings. No, not getting much better. If you guys got any recommendations to try anything, feel free to chat it. As you see here, the Ambient Threshold is how much noise of something are you bringing into your noise profile. So you can bring all that in, but that's dialogue, because obviously my selection where it's placed at the moment. But you can trim it down, something like this, and just capture that profile. Then it bugs out here. So you see that? It's not supposed to do that. It's bugging. So that is for sure a bug, guaranteed. There we go. Let's go to nothing. See what happens. Still junk. That. See, there's a noise in there, some sort of mechanical noise. I'm going to turn that up so you guys can hear it better. Sounds really bad. Just to be straight, I don't like it. That's junk. Trying to make something work, but it's not working. It won't let me do that short of a selection. It hates that. I just do the entire thing, but so don't do fades. Okay. I don't even think I have a fade there though. But let's try that. See, it's got stuff in there. Turn that down further. See, I can't even get rid of all that, even on the middle. Let's listen back though. Let's turn down randomness. So I feel like randomness doesn't do anything. Turn that off. Man, it just sounds really, really choppy. I don't know what to say any farther on that. I'm going to try the standalone application. If the standalone application doesn't work, we got to be disappointed. That's all. Be disappointed. Let's delete this. Because I didn't want that there anyways. Working with this section of audio. Do I even got a track? Is this Rx8? Rx9, I'm looking for... Why am I missing it? Where is Rx9, Rx9, Rx9? Why am I missing it? There it is, Rx9 monitor. I was looking right past it. Alright, my system's about to crash. Yeah, get. I got the spinning beach ball of death. I'm gonna end the stream here. That was pretty bad. But that's fine. You got a good example of Ambience Match just through the Audio Suite plugin. I'm pretty sure going into the Spectral Editor standalone application for Rx Connect, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference, but I haven't played around with that yet. We'll find out if it does make any sort of difference. I tried all sorts of different controls, nothing worked for the Audio Suite. So anyways, I am going to cancel it here, and I will shut down and talk to you guys later. I'll show Dialogue Isolate here probably later tonight, I think. I gotta go take care of some things at the moment, go eat dinner, yada yada yada, and all that fun stuff. For those just hopping on, go ahead and check out the past few minutes of the video, see what's going on there. Anyways, thanks for watching, thanks for listening to me ramble about this. Anyways, bye-bye.